Most black people in the United States can trace their ancestry back to Shockoe Bottom. So we have both a national touch as well as a localized reason for this area to be so significant.
Shockoe Bottom is an underutilized resource for the city because it's in a floodplain, but it's also very rich in history because of Richmond's position during the slave trade.
Shockoe Bottom was Richmond's center of commerce throughout the 19th century. Much of the commerce that took place there was slave trading, conducted in the longest-lasting slave market in the United States. It was one of the largest, second only to the one in New Orleans. Small wonder, then, that so many African Americans trace their ancestry to Shockoe Bottom. One such ancestor was Solomon Northrop, a free man kidnapped in Washington, D.C., then kept in jail in Shockoe Bottom on his journey to 12 years of slavery further south.
I am a descendant of Solomon Northrop. Solomon Northrop is my great-great-great-great-grandfather. For me personally, I had the opportunity to stand in that area, and it's really it's hard to explain how that feels to be able to say, I'm standing in a place where my ancestor was fearful for his life. I think maintaining that place as a sacred place helps to keep that experience available.
How to maintain that place is central to Richmond's preservation development debate.
The National Trust designated Shockoe Bottom as one of the most endangered historic places in America because of the nature and the extent of the redevelopment plans for this neighborhood. This place is a site of conscience. The current plan for Revitalize RVA would have an enormous baseball stadium in the middle of this historic area. In addition to the baseball stadium, large-scale hotel, 500 apartments, offices, retail, a minor league baseball entertainment district in the middle of one of the most important archaeological and historic sites in Virginia and in the United States.
We recognize in a city where we have 27% poverty that in order for us to address some of the infrastructure needs, educational needs that we have, we've got to expand our tax base. And so while we want to do the preservation piece, we've got to do simultaneously the economic development piece because there have to be resources to make these other things possible.
You know, historic preservationists do not oppose redevelopment here in Shockoe Bottom. Redevelopment here should not be a series of near misses where a foundation is dug and just misses an important archaeological site.
So we are now at this point with the ability and the knowledge to not only take charge of this site and reclaim it for the people who could not, but to now give their descendants the opportunity to say, what is the best way to approach how we take care of it, how we know its history, and how we preserve it for the future.
I think that our plan is very balanced, and our plan includes comprehensive archaeological digs simultaneous with the development of the project to make sure that if we come across something that we unearth it, that we make sure that we don't just overlook it.
Manage future change here in a way that preserves the archaeology, commemorates the history, and in and of itself creates economic revitalization through cultural heritage tourism.
Everybody comes to the table with their specific point of view and their specific need, and somehow we've got to pull that together.
And ultimately, that's the problem in Richmond's preservation development debate, getting people to compromise, to listen to each other. When it comes to the fate of Shockoe Bottom, that has not yet happened, and so the debate continues and the issue remains unresolved.